All right, everybody, we back with another episode of the Wealth for the Culture podcast. And, this is heavily requested. Everybody been asking about credit, so I went and got the mayor of credit plug, Melika Honore. How you doing this morning?
Thank you so much. Listen, I am blessed. I am wonderful. Today is an amazing Wednesday, and I'm super excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So for everybody that may not know who you are, even though you got quite the following on Instagram and everything else I've seen, you could just give people a little bit about your background and kind of how you got into credit and finances and all that.
So my name is Melika Honore. You already stated that. So I'm the CEO of Honore Credit Consultants, where we help hardworking women and men and ambitious business owners. I like to keep the financial freedom. But I'm the real serial entrepreneur, right? And so I joke about this all the time. I thought I created the word a couple years ago until I realized that there was a bunch of people calling themselves. But I'm that chick that is going to work for herself by any means necessary, period, with a T, right? And so I own a few childcare facilities. I've owned a restaurant. I've had a tire shop. I've had a car wash. What else? I've had a janitorial business. To this day, I still have a few childcare facilities, and I have the consulting firm. And so me being an entrepreneur, where do you live?
I live down in Dallas now.
So I'm in New Orleans. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Houston originally. Yeah, I've been bouncing all over. I went from Houston to Phoenix to Boston, back down here. So
you've been everywhere. Okay. Well, we lived in Houston for a couple years. Of course, Hurricane Katrina, right? And so Hurricane Katrina happened. I had a job. I was flat on my ass. It made me feel some kind of way. I was newly divorced, like literally had just separated from my husband in November, and here it is August. I got a new man, and I'm out, right? I'm out evacuating with this new man. So I'm thinking, well, you're in Houston, so you know how it is. We evacuate for a few days and we come back. So it's like a 3-day kind of vacation. And so I had good credit. Somewhat good credit before Katrina. I was blessed to be raised in a family that instilled credit in us. So my grandfather who raised me put me on his cards as authorized users. So I was pretty good, but I had a job. Hurricane Katrina, no matter what, they were helping people, but they wasn't really caring like that. And so I had a car. I had no insurance on at the time, right? I still had a car note on that. And of course, it got on my credit. So things were racking up on my credit. So I moved back to New Orleans. At this point, I got bad credit, right? I opened up the childcare facilities in 2007. The childcare facilities, because New Orleans was still coming back. And I started it up with a income tax check. I tell people the story all the time, right? So I started this daycare center up with a $10,000 income tax check. Didn't really realize that I was going to need way more than that. And so I kept charging things, not paying the shit. Charging things, not paying the shit. Because I was going to work for myself by any means necessary. Got bad credit. Saw a sign in the neutral ground. How long we got on for this podcast?
Oh, we got how much time you going to give me?
Okay. Because I like to tell stories. I'm one of those people. Like, I need you to feel me, right?
Oh, I'll feel you. Go ahead.
Okay. So, you know how you see those signs on the neutral ground? Fixed bad credit, $99. Like, I was the stupid one to call, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I mean, you see a phone number, you're like, fixed bad credit, call them. So I was that chick because at this point, my childcare facility was doing extremely well. And at this point, it's trying to scale. So I'm trying to buy another daycare center. But that daycare center was a blessing. Like, who finds a daycare center for less than $10,000 fully furnished? So I didn't feel that I was going to find another one like that. That was like a blessing. So I knew I had to get it based on credit. I had to figure out how to fix my credit so that I can now maybe purchase another building, lease another building, whatever, right? So I called this number desperate. I call it, I'm like, listen, I got bad credit. I need to figure this out. I need my credit fixed. Katrina, telling the whole story. The dude's like, yeah, I got you. You know, give me your information. Give me your credit card number, and I'm going to take care of it. I'm like, all right, good. So I'm all excited, right? So I wait about 3 months. I'm like, I hadn't heard anything from the guy, right? I'm like, I hadn't heard shit. I realized it takes some time. But I hadn't heard anything. I didn't get an email, I didn't get nothing. They took the money out my account. So I'm like, well, what's up? At this time, this guy charged me a flat rate. It was like $1,500. By the way, that's illegal.
15, God, oh.
But that's illegal. For anybody to charge you a flat upfront fee is illegal. Okay? So credit repair is not illegal, but for them to charge you, anybody charge you $500 or whatever, any large upfront fee, it's illegal. So he charged me $1,500, right? My mindset was different because I looked at credit repair as this underground kind of slick thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's still how I look at it, yeah.
Oh, everybody does, right? And so that's why I put my face on everything, because I needed people to know it's not that. Like, credit repair is legal except in the state of Georgia, right? Okay. Where it's a misdemeanor. So anyway, I call him. Guess what happens?
Oh, probably the dip out. Oh.
The phone was disconnected. It was disconnected. I was like, oh, you effing serious? Like, I couldn't, that was like the first time. Like, literally, it was like I had things happen to me in this time back to back to back with being a scam, because at this point I'm desperate trying to find out what to do. I need to get some credit, right, to get this growing, expanded childcare facility. But anyway, that's what happened. Like, dude, phone was disconnected. I tried to find out the company's name, Googled it, no such thing. It was like, really, I was like, yeah. So anyway, I became super obsessed with it. So that's how I got into credit. I got scammed. That's how I got into credit.
God dang. You got me scared now to mess with it.
But everything happened for a reason. It was listen, yeah, I got scammed out of $1,500.
Golly. So is that kind of like when you took that, you just took it upon yourself, kind of put everybody else on the credit game?
So what I did was started fixing all my cousins' baby mamas. I started fixing everybody's credit for free, because I was like, you know what? I think I know what I'm doing. Let me see if I know what I'm doing. So I just wanted to, with the childcare facility, it became a perk for all of my staff. Miss Melika gonna fix your credit. Miss Melika gonna fix your credit. But I was just literally, using everybody as guinea pigs. If they're not paying me, they don't care. Because again, if you already got bad credit, it's like you can't do nothing else bad to it. You can only help it go up. So everybody was like, literally, take my social security number, fix my credit, fix my credit, fix my credit. And so literally, I became like the daycare lady that fixed credit. Right? And so the whole city started talking about the daycare lady that fixed credit. But I wasn't charging people because this was something that I found out how to do. And I was like, you know what? This feeling feels amazing to be able to go into a dealership and like stun on them and be like, run my social. I got this, like run my social. That's a feeling, King, like I can't explain it. And so I had the feeling, and I wanted everybody else to have this feeling. And so it was like a drug. Like I was high off of fixing credit. Like when people would come to me, I was like, yeah, of course I will. And just to watch, where they started and what they got to obtain because of it. That's what it happened. So I was doing it for free for years before I connected with a huge influencer. And connected with a huge influencer, and the rest was history. And so it wasn't, and even with the influencer, I was helping that person, not her, but a family member for free. And she like gave me a shout out, and literally I went from, so my business page, I don't know if you know, just got recently disabled.
For real?
Yeah, my business, not my personal page, because I am Melika Honore is my Melika Honore page. But I had Honore Credit that had 25,000 followers. And so, and they were engaged followers. So it's not buku followers, but it was people that was engaged. Like, what I need to do, whatever. I would go live weekly, go in my stores often. So anyway, I got disabled about a month ago. And so literally working with the influencer helped her people, and my page went from 0 to 10,000, like within weeks. And that's it. And I mean, that's been since 2015 where I took it serious as a business.
God, you put in the work there, because, man, you say you was doing that for years, just free off the straight. And I get it, though. You was just trying to learn and prove that you knew what you were doing. I get that.
Yeah.
And so talking about credit repair, like, can you kind of break down, like, how does that work? Does it just go like, you just takes like, I don't know, like, because I mean, when I think about credit, I had bad credit at one point. I worked hard trying to get my credit score up.
Yeah.
And I never went through credit repair. I was pretty dumb about it because I went and paid because my mom had got some stuff in my name and stuff like that. And it happens. I mean, growing up like that. But I went and paid off a bunch of stuff, and then I closed out the cars, and then I found out like and I've been chasing trying to, like, I finally got into the 700 club, and man, you couldn't tell me nothing, even though I realized this. But golly, man, it was a journey. Like, that took some years to get from like the high fives up to that. Now it's like, golly, this is a process. I'm real. Yeah.
It's a game, though.
Yeah.
It's not really meant for you to have good credit, especially being a black male. We could go on and on and on about that whole conspiracy, right? But it's a game, and people need to know that it's a game. And so, again, why I say it's a game is because exactly what you're saying, I was paying off stuff, right? I know you see it all over Instagram. Sometimes that's not the right thing to do. Yeah. So, paying off stuff, like, for instance, when I first started, the reason why I was using everybody as a guinea pig, because I just thought dispute, write letters, get it all off until I disputed something that was positive and it came off. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's a game. Yeah, it's a real game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know I was kind of saying, like, you to do credit, and you understand, I would say, the advantages now that you've been in the game for, years now. You understand, like, the power of leveraging, like, credit and stuff like that. Can you kind of talk about that? Like, because I don't think a lot of people understand, like, you can leverage credit. And I see that a lot from people. And I'm trying to get into that myself now.
So, King, here's the thing. I was raised by old folks. My grandparents raised me, and they were born in the 1930s, right?
Yeah, my grandma raised me, so I get it.
Right? And so they were, like, afraid of credit. Like, they were afraid of it. They were like, don't get credit cards. Pay everything with cash, right? Don't incur debt. Debt is bad. Like, debt. But they didn't know better, so I get it. And credit hasn't been around that many years, but they didn't know better, and so they were only going upon what they were taught, and they were taught, of course, not to get in debt. As a community, that was a bad thing, and not to get credit cards because that equals debt. Pay everything in cash. Like, they were paying houses back in the day with cash. Like, that's what they were doing. They were, like, literally, rolling up $100 bills, quarters and stuff, and they had the banks in their houses under the mattresses, and that's how they saved money to purchase homes and things. And so I made it my mission, King, like, them other people don't do that. Yeah. Like, those other people don't do that. They use other people's money and keep their cash liquid. Because even in a situation like what we're going through with the pandemic, at one point banks was shutting down shit. They was like, we ain't loaning out nothing, right? And people were able to, of course, let them have that cash flow to keep things moving, especially in entrepreneurship. Like with my daycare centers, before any type of funding came through, we were working for a whole month off of what our cash flow was. And so thank God. But keeping that liquid cash always accessible where you can touch it is the key. Who has, in my community, I don't know about yours, but in my community, having, and even at 43, which I'm 43, I don't know very many people that have $10,000 in the bank.
Yeah, it ain't common.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I don't know very many people. And I like literally thought about this and got in a state of gratitude because I remember the day, King, I have $2,000 in the bank. Yep. I didn't have it. And so I made it my mission to like spread this news that there's a great thing called good debt. And good debt is something that makes you more money. So I made it my mission to spread it around to say, hey, don't be afraid of debt. Like, I'm not saying go buy a Rolls Royce. No, you can't afford it, right? I'm saying, for instance, and so like not go charge up or go purchase this huge ass car that you can't afford, right? But in my situation, I recently got into the game of renting cars out recently. I'm just in the beginning stages. So if I go and purchase, right, a couple of cars, right, inexpensive cars, a 2010 Mazda, not Maserati, Mitsubishi, or 2012 Toyota Corolla, right? I'm using these two cars to leverage to create generational wealth, because when I get these two cars, my car note is what? If I don't pay them out cash, my car note might be $200 or something like that. I ain't put nothing down. And now I've created a revenue stream of over $1,000 that I'm putting in my pocket every single month. And so that's an example of good debt. I went and got these two cars, right? Charged them, right? And then, of course, I put them on two-row, and now I have two cars that's going on two-row that puts $1,000 after I pay off the notes, put $1,000 in my pocket every month. Right?
Hey, that rental car game, I'm trying to get on that like the next year.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So those are like different ideas of current debt, and then they're good debt, right? So that's an example. So even with real estate, like I had a friend that just recently got money through SBA, right? And she was all like, oh, I got like 6 figures loan. Like, what should I do? Should I pay off my house? I was like, what? Why would you do that? Right? But our mindset, right? Get out of debt. Like, I think she owed like $80-something thousand on a house. And I was like, and she's an entrepreneur. I was like, why would you do that? Like, why would you take 80,000 of the 100 that you got and pay off your house? Girl, you better use that money and go get some. I always say, flip it. Flip that money. You ain't gonna flip it by paying off that house. So those are just examples of, again, leveraging credit, leveraging good debt to make you more money.
And that's powerful, because I definitely spoke about that. And I understand, though. That's the key, though. That's how the wealthy people do it. They use other people's money, and then they go leverage that, get them some assets, boom, they got cash flow, then they go pay off the liabilities and stuff.
Come on, Walmart has over 500 trade lines. So Walmart is leveraging credit. Walmart, Coca-Cola, Donald Trump, y'all president, leveraging credit. So if all of these bigwig companies and bigwig people are leveraging credit, why the hell you should?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's great. Matter of fact, now that you mentioned it, since we talking about like business stuff, can you just kind of hit on? Because I know I seen you had a book. The power of business credit. Can you kind of talk about that? Because I don't think people realize the power that they have if they do start a business. Like, I mean, it ain't for everybody, but if you do start a business, you got a lot of power in being able to leverage credit as well.
And it's everything. We talk about your president. I'm gonna be so ready to stop talking about him. But Donald J. Trump himself has bad credit, but his business credit is what he does everything through. So having business credit is, we're all taught in our world, in the entrepreneurship world, to get your LLC. Don't operate a sole proprietorship, right? Don't do a sole, do an LLC. Building business credit on your business is taking your LLC to a whole nother level, because we're taught, get an LLC, it eliminates liability, right? From you personally, from your business. With doing business credit, you're actually now building trade lines, building up credit profiles under your company's name and not you yourself. So for instance, I'm gonna say me, I have childcare facilities, right? And honorary credit consultants as well. I have LLCs. I just recently made honorary consultants in S Corp, which is taking it to a whole nother level, right? Because I started making money. Right, at that point, I had to figure out how to keep money in my pocket and be like, y'all president paying $700 in taxes, right? I wasn't hating on brother because I understand what he's doing, right? So with the LLC, with the childcare facilities, I started building up trade lines. So then now the buildings and the commercial property that I purchased is not owned by me. It's owned by my daycare centers, right? And so let's say something happens, and let's just say I default on something personally, my daycare centers are not affected, and vice versa. So if during the pandemic, I get a little tight with money, right? And I can't afford to pay some of the bills with the childcare facility. Melika personal credit is not affected because the business credit is on its own. You get it?
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
And so now what we do is build up trade lines on our EIN number, which is like your social security number for your business, and then Dun & Bradstreet. Are you familiar with Dun & Bradstreet at all?
I've heard of it, but I'm still trying to get like an LLC set up for myself right now. Actually, I'm like in that process. So
yeah. And so with Dun & Bradstreet, that is the big boys when it comes to building business credit. You can't even do any government anything without a DUNS number. And it's also a 9-digit number that you get to build credit on. But SAMS, which is the directory for businesses, you have to be registered in order to do any type of business with the government with SAMS, right? And then you get another number with SAMS. SAMS automatically asks you for your DUNS number. They don't ask you for your EIN number. They want to know your DUNS number. And so the DUNS number is a Equifax Experian of businesses.
Okay, I got you.
And then you can literally go into Dun & Bradstreet, DUN, Bradstreet.com, and get a free Dun & Bradstreet number. It is free, King, because I tell you what, when you call, because everything is a business, they're going to try to sell you something. They're going to make you feel as if you got to pay for this number. And I'm telling you, the credit plug, the Mayor Credit, that ain't true. It's a free number. And then they'll also play the game of saying, oh, okay, well, yeah, it is free. We'll send it out to you. But if you don't pay for these services, it's going to take you up to 90 days to get the number. That's bullshit. I've never seen, the number come in more than 2 weeks, and they send it through the mail. But then you also build up those same trade lines, right? Those vendor accounts on your DUNS number and then on your EIN number. So that's what it is. The power of it is that whatever you can do personally, you can do from your business, and you are personally not affected.
Okay, and that's how you keep it. And I guess that's another thing to test too, because when you see like these celebrities out here they say, oh, they go bankrupt, it's not really their personal. That's what a lot of people don't realize. They still got their money. They business might have went. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then they start all over again. Right? They get a new LLC. They get a new EIN number. They get another DUNS number, and then they start rebuilding their profiles. So that's how they go bankrupt, and you're like, but they're not broke. Right?
That's the gem right there, because a lot of people be thinking, like, even when I think with who was it? I seen like 50 Cent when he was bankrupt, everybody's clowning him, but he still got money. He still got bread.
He's smart. He knows what to do, and that's still leveraging, right? He's leveraging the law. The law says, again, that you can file bankruptcy once you're upside down on any part of your debt or your financing. So he's smart. That's what they know. And I tell clients all the time when they call into our office, they're embarrassed, right? And I don't want to file bankruptcy. In most cases, they don't have to file bankruptcy. But in some cases, like I'm sure right now with everything that's going on with the pandemic, there's a lot of families that's struggling. And then, bankruptcy is a out, but it's not a bad thing. And then it doesn't take, so as soon as you file bankruptcy, it takes up to 6 months to start building it back up. Right? And so, in a lot of cases, it's easier to file bankruptcy and start over than fixing your credit.
Oh. That's crazy, because that is a big thing, like, especially like in like my like community, black community. Like that's big. Like people talk about bankruptcy as a super. I didn't know you could recover from it like that. I just thought kind of like bankruptcy kind of was like, oh.
Quick. The minute you go and discharge, right? You discharge from your bankruptcy, you can start the same day, the very same day. As soon as you're discharged from your bankruptcy, the same day you can start rebuilding that credit, and it's quicker. Because again, all your debt is wiped away. It depends on what bankruptcy you're filing. But in most cases, because I deal with single mothers with children, usually it's Chapter 7. And Chapter 7 pretty much is wiping everything away and you ain't paying nothing. But of course, you can't have anything. You can't have, a house. You can't have a car. Because if you go through bankruptcy, then of course you have to give that car back. And then the housing situation, you can't even file bankruptcy under the Chapter 7 if having property and things like that. And so, but again, the people that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis is your average mother, single mother with children, and that's making less than $45,000 a year. So when you're in those, types of situations, you can easily file Chapter 7. And then I'm seeing a client of mine file Chapter 7, and a year and a half later, she was buying her first house.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. See, I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because that's a real common misconception, I would say, then. Because a lot of people, at least a lot of people I know, they definitely don't know that it's a way to bounce back from it. A lot of people, I think, what is it, like 7 years? I think something like that.
And that's bullshit. Like 7 years legally, it can stay on your credit. That's it. But that's why I say bankruptcy in most cases. Sometimes it's quicker. Because I've seen people, if you have a lot of stuff on your credit, you have, I've seen people have over 100 bad items reported on their credit. That's time consuming. And so in some cases, I've seen it take a year and a half to 2 years with having built up their profile and having a lot of those negative things deleted. Because here's the thing, we actually know those things are ours. So it's not like in some cases where it's identity theft and these things are come up, or in your situation where, I think you said your mom had things in your name.
Yeah.
You can easily get that shit off because, again, if you wasn't even of age, that's easy.
Man, I wish I knew this years ago, but it is what it is now. But
you don't even have to rat your mama out. You can literally say, hello, I'm just turning 18. How the hell I have a credit line that's open 3 years?
No, see,
right?
that was...
And then when they tell you, and then when they ask you, are you aware? Who didn't know? No clue.
Oh, man, you know what? I mean, I wish I knew you years ago because I went through that and I was so scared. I was like, man, like, I'm not trying to, I ain't trying to go through that with my mom. And they're like, I get it. Like, but golly, it was like, I just paid it off. I just chalked it up, paid it off, and closed them out. I mean, I messed up closing them out, but I mean, it's a lesson learned. That's why I say I mess up so other people ain't got to. They can learn from me. That's why I even did this whole platform.
That's right. And that's why you're going to be blessed 10 times because, and that's why I think people really mess with me because I'm not holding information. If I find something new, I'm jumping on. When it was honorary credit, I would always jump in my platform and say, y'all, guess what happened? And literally tell them situations, even myself. I use myself still with credit as guinea pigs and put it up there where people see the letters that I wrote. So, that's why I think because I'm always giving and sharing knowledge, I mean, it comes twofold. And so people, one, it builds up, that trust. She giving out the information, you know what I'm saying? All the time. And so it builds up trust and then people really want to mess with you. And they trust that you know what you're saying because they see it on a day-to-day. So keep sharing, King. Like, that's what it is. And that's what it's about.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's big, though, because a lot of people don't realize, like, you got a lot of these, that's why I don't like to use the word guru no more when I talk to people because, they, like, I like to, I like to say I bring, like, subject matter experts on this. To get a game. And to me, that's real important. That's definitely a big thing for me, though. I like to, mention, like, I don't like saying the word guru no more because I know, me personally, I've been to so many courses, because I ain't no serial entrepreneur per se, but I like to try, like, I don't care about risk. I'll try 1,000 different things. And like I say, I'll just be the little guinea pig and see. And I done got burned. But I did also found some good people that's real helpful. Like, I'm big in the stock game. So, I found people like Wall Street Trapper.
That's my people. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for real. Yeah. Mark Monroe, people like that. I done found that community. And, they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. But, I done also found other people. I ain't going to mention their names or whatever. But I done been burned by people the same way you've been burned by somebody. Like, that's how you got started. So it just, it's a learning lesson. And I'm cool being that example for people. Because, I mean, I'm fortunate enough where I done kind of, I'm slow progress. But I'm working my way to where – I'm going to be all right, and I'm good now. So if I can help somebody else out that ain't really got that time, just to, like, be able to be an example, be like, oh, you ain't got to go through this because I messed up like this, and this. So let me make it quicker for you. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you shouldn't be selfish with that type of stuff. Like, everybody deserves a chance.
Wow.
To be able to, exactly. Like, everybody deserves a chance to be able to do what they need to do and live life, especially in a Black community. Like, it's always, I don't really like how it always feel like people try to hoard information, like they're afraid it's going to, like, mess them over or something. But if you get that up and, let's collaborate with people, it's way more powerful. So, that's just my 2 cents. That's my little piece. I ain't gonna go into no long drawn out thing. I can talk about stuff like this all day. But
me too. Me too. I think about all of that as like having a closed fist. Like if your fist is always closed, important information that people can't open it up and put anything in it, right? Because it's always closed. But if you open it up, you mentioned collabs. 2021, you're gonna see me everywhere. Because that's what my main goal is, to collab, just like you and I sitting down talking, sharing, that all 2021. I recently hired an operations manager in my office, which now it takes me out of the office and I can do more things like this, right? Be able to collab with way more people, sharing. And again, on my platform, they come backwards and forwards. I'll reach out to you another time and so we can do something on mine as well. But as long as your fist is closed, nobody can put anything in it. But once you open it up as in sharing it, right? People can pour into you. And so that's what it is. Yeah.
I really like you. I would definitely be in touch with you all the time. I'll be blowing you for no reason.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I know I seen on your I was looking through your page and stuff, and I see something like a business bestie or so. Can you kind of go into what that is?
A business bestie, man. So listen, a business bestie is just like, and me and my business bestie text all day. We're both an entrepreneur. We're both female entrepreneurs, single moms. Well, she's married now. Sorry, I forgot. Still doing this damn thing, right? And so whenever we find out shit, we like literally, girl, I took this class. And like me and her go is like, oh, I took this class. Go take this class, this person or whatever. So I do things, learn things in my business. I share it, vice versa. And so like she and I share an assistant. Like she and I have one assistant that we split the cost of her salary. We both have the same social media people. We have the same marketing people and we splitting the costs, right? And so they're both working for us. And so it's someone in my family, I'm the only entrepreneur, King. I'm like a boring chick to my family, right? Because this is the shit I want to talk about. I want to talk about lame shit like credit, right? I want to talk about lame shit like entrepreneurship. My sisters ain't trying to hear that shit. And so, my best friend ain't trying to hear that shit all the time. And so we're having a business bestie. You have somebody just as throw it off as you when it comes to this world of entrepreneurship and finances, where literally I can call her and say, girl, you woke up this morning just like when DoorDash, right, came out public. When who's the other one that just came out? Because I forgot that.
Airbnb.
Like me and her was texting each other in the morning. We cuss like, you saw this, blah, 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 blah. You know what you should do? You jumping in? I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I can't call my friends. They don't know shit about stocks. And so when you say a business bestie, it's someone that loves the same freaking shit that you love. Like this business stuff we love. Like we get to invest in masterminds. She and I joined a mastermind together. Right? And so we found other business besties. Yeah,
that's exactly how it is. I'm finally like, it took me like years, but I'm finally getting my mom to kind of shift her thinking and stuff. And I kind of put on a few books and different stuff like that. So it's finally working. I mean, it got to start with your like immediate, like to me, you going to keep putting it like, I'm bad with it. Like I would just keep beating the dead horse. I don't even care. I'm going to do it over and over and over again. And eventually it's going to click. And eventually that person going to receive. And I mean, if they don't want to receive it, they don't want to receive it. It's going to come a point in time, I feel like no matter so at some point in time, it's gonna click for them, and that's when you gotta kind of be ready to go full tilt with them. And that's kind of a big part of why I be trying to learn what I learn, so I can put everybody on around me. Because a lot of my friends, like I have a few friends, that talk, but most people I met that like to talk about the same kind of stuff I like to talk about. It's people I done met on Instagram for the most part.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, it's like most people ain't trying to talk about nothing, but don't get me wrong, I love sports. I did football in college and all that. I love music like the next person, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to get this money. I'm trying to get this wealth. I'm trying to put everybody on I know. And to me, it go a little bit deeper because I'm trying to really help the Black community because that's just my people, and don't get me wrong. You see a bunch of people now. Like I say this every time I talk to somebody. Like we doing way better, but it like is that good enough? Like for every one person I see that look like me doing it, I see 20, 30 people that look like them doing it, and I'm just like, golly, why can't we have more people that's out here doing it? And can be out here and be vocal with it. I don't know if you on Clubhouse. I'm gonna get you on there.
But I got on there and look, it was crazy because I've been on there a couple weeks. And then, maybe it's been over a month. Wall Street Chopper, Queen, you need to get on Clubhouse. I was like, all right, I'm going to get on Clubhouse. So I got on Clubhouse over a month ago. And as soon as I jumped in, people was like, no, when people started, just recently, people started jumping in, right? And they were like, I should have knew your fucking ass was in it.
Yeah, I've only been on there for like a week, but there's a lot of, they be dropping game in there, and I don't even be speaking too much. I might go in the stock room and speak a little bit, but man, I just be trying to suck all that in. I gotta like have a schedule for that. I have to have a schedule for that now because
you will get consumed because I love it too, and I'm only listening right now. I've jumped in a couple of rooms and been on speaker line and talk a little, but I don't want to get so consumed into it. I put it on my schedule now to go in for an hour every other day, just so that I can stay connected because I love, again, collaboration and learning. I'm a student of learning. I love learning. I'm never going to stop learning. And so I love it. But I would get so consumed in it. So I only do it an hour every other day.
Oh, yeah. I be on there. Once 11 o'clock at night hit when I get home from work, I be in there. I be just listening. I be trying to take my little notes on my phone and all type of stuff. I'm like, man, they really giving out. It's just free game. And there's an industry you don't even be thinking about. Like, it'd be industry like government contract and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, like, it is cool because I like to feel. I feel like I'm old, but I'm 27, so I'm just trying to soak this stuff in and try because next year it's full tilt. Like I just got this whole thing started because I was like, I like to tell people I was real nervous about doing this podcast thing, but I remember I used to always post like what I would make from stock market, and I done did stocks, crypto, all that stuff, and I used to always post this stuff and post stuff, and a few people here and there be like, oh, you should start like a little podcast, let everybody know what you got ready. And I was like, let me just take it a step further, I was like, I'll think about it. And this was the time I was living in Boston because I had a bad experience with my job in Phoenix. They lied to me when I played, man, I didn't get the promotion I wanted, which is why I'm trying to get out of the work, like working all together for somebody. It ain't for me. I already understand it. So I ended up getting a job in Boston. And that kind of led me to be like, if I ever get back to Texas, get back home, I'll just go put full tilt, put all this into it. So fast forward, I come back in September, I get a job out here, promotion, and I to get back to Texas. And I'm just like, I said I was going to do it. So give me 2 weeks. And I just started reaching out to people.
You spoke it, though. You spoke it. And so
I'm big on that,
happened. Yeah, you spoke it. Like, that shit is crazy to me whenever we open our mouths and speak things and you see it happens. It's scary. Like, it used to be scary for me, but now I fully understand what I'm doing. But 3 years ago, I used to be like, oh, this is creepy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm still learning every day. I like to tell people, but I'm very appreciative of everybody that want to come on this platform because it's still new and it's still it's just slowly growing. But I ain't gonna stop. As long as as long as I got one person out there that listen to this and that gets some type of value from this, I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't care if I got nobody listening. It don't matter to me.
I remember Trapper having 2,000 friends, followers. Like I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was just a year and a half ago. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Collaborating with people. Like I'm gonna tag you in. I'm gonna do a little video, or, a little screenshot. Tag you in. Make sure that's what it is. You collaborate with as many people because now you're exposing them to your people, and vice versa. Now you're being exposed to their people. But keep doing it and sharing. That's
the big thing. Like I'm about to start doing like a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm kind of trying to get settled. So for like next year, to start pumping that out. Cause I don't know everything, but I know what I know, and what I don't know, I'm gonna go find somebody that knows so I can start learning. Like that's stuff in the credit. Like I thought I knew credit because I done raised my score from this to that. But I'm talking to you, and it's just like some of the stuff I never would have even thought. Like I just know because I'm big on, like, I tell everybody, I'm a student of Google University, YouTube University. I go in there all day and find whatever I can and try to implement it.
Yes.
And I mean, if it work, it work. If it don't, on to the next opportunity, we'll figure it out. But I love talking to people though about this type of stuff. Like, I don't know, it's the nerd in me, the weird person in me, but it just, this type of stuff, I just like this. I don't know, it get me going, man. And that's why when I got on,
I feel like this.
Yeah.
I feel like this all day because I mean, that's like, you know, like I love intellectual people. Like I love learning, you know, I just love learning. And so if it's anything, it could be anything that I'm interested in, I'm all ears and I can listen for hours.
Oh yeah, sure. Real quick, I'll start this little new segment. I got the questions from the culture. So every now, you know, I give people they send me DMs and stuff. So I got a couple. Okay. I'm gonna just go run through like 2 or 3 questions. Okay. So the first question is, do secured credit cards really help improve your credit score?
It definitely does. Like, so here's the thing. The concept is very similar to trade lines. I get people all the time saying, you do trade lines, which I don't. All right. I don't do trade lines. The reason why is that I'm not in fully control of, I will be the middle person when it comes to trade lines, unless I'm going to sell you a space on one of my credit cards, right?
Oh, and that's kind of real quick. So the trade lines, that's isn't that where like you basically just somebody paying you to put, like, make them authorized user, I guess, per se? Okay.
It's the same thing. But it's the exact same thing, except for with trade lines, there's companies that solicit people all the time, right? So you have a 700 credit score. Let's say you have 4 credit cards with that you've been having for about 5 years or more, and you have $10,000 credit lines, right? Authorized users, different banks have different rules, but some banks allow you 5 people that you can add on as authorized users. Some banks unlimited, you know, it depends on the bank, right? And so a trade line brokerage company finds people like you with great credit that has credit cards, right? And pretty much partners with you to sell your spaces as authorized users, right?
Okay.
And so a brokerage company comes in, they solicit you, say, hey, King, whatever, you have great credit, you know, let's work together. And so you'll pay a company, a brokerage company, a trade line company, $1,000 for them to add you on. They call it trade lines, right? And so all it is that you're adding on someone else's card as an authorized user, and the trade line company splits it with the user. And so if they charge you $1,000, right, they taking $500. And then they're going to pay the consumer who's allowing this to do this $500. The real thing, so going back to secure credit cards, it's very similar. And so what I tell people is we have a credit card that we work with personally with the bank. All you need is $200, right? You put $200 up, and then now you have an open line of credit. When it comes to building credit, the credit bureaus don't know that it's a secure credit card. All they see is that it's a revolving line of credit. That's it. You get the most amount of points, and the reason why people are always focusing on credit cards, because you get the maximum amount of points for revolving lines of credit, and that's credit cards. And so you build, and so within 6 months, FICO, after 6 months of on-time payments, FICO now accumulates a score for you based on your last 6 months history. Vantage, right, which is a completely different, it's not FICO scores, it's a different set of scoring. After 30 days, they give you a score. And so Credit Karma is Vantage scores. And so that's why it comes up so quick in Credit Karma, because it's not FICO scores, it's Vantage.
So which one hold more weight, I guess? Cause is it FICO? The Vantage? Okay. Because I know I see like if I look at my like Bank of America, they got like the little FICO, but if I look at like I'll use Credit Karma, and then I remember I seen somewhere that it might be best to not really put too much stock into it. Yeah. So, okay. All right. That's good to know.
Credit Karma is great as an educational tool. So you get to follow things. Like my girlfriends have children that's in college. I always tell them, go get a Credit Karma account, and you can see every time your child is applying for credit. Right? Okay. Because again, if you go and get the Credit Karma, when there's an inquiry, my friends will know that their children is, applying for things. And then also it's like an educational tool where you could kind of sort of know how is your credit. but it's not FICOs. The most model that's used most often is FICO 8, which is the FICO 8 model. So like if you want to buy a car, they're going to use an auto FICO 8 score. If you're going to try to do a mortgage or get investment property, the banks are going to pull your FICO scores. And so your FICO scores are always going to be different from Credit Karma, because Credit Karma is not FICO scores.
Yeah, I remember I ran into that when I got like a vehicle, and I seen like that was one score, and then I was like, oh, damn, I didn't realize it was all these different scores and stuff.
So the key is, whenever you're trying to build up your credit, is to focus on your overall health of your credit. Stop worrying about the scores. You pay your bills on time, you keep your credit cards low, your scores are going to be good.
Okay. Next question. Should you close credit cards once paid off, and what counts as revolving credit, and how important is it?
So I heard the first question, closing credit cards, right? So it's no cookie cutter situation. So if you're trying to build your credit, don't ever close. Don't ever close credit cards. You keep them open. I tell people, put small things on it like your Netflix account, Hulu account, revolving things, right? That's small little things that you can use and put it on there every single month. And then you'll set up automatic payment through your bank that pays it on time every single month. Here's another key with building amazing great credit. You can't have a utilization of 0. Right? Which means if you have a credit card with $500, you can't pay it down to 0 every single month. And because, again, I started off, King, by telling you credit is a game. The game is to keep you in debt so that now you can make their customers, right? Their customers, or as the credit bureaus or the banks, right? That's their customer. We're not their customers. So if you do 0, you can't make their customers, the banks, any money. So they punish you for that.
Man, I'm so glad you just said that, because I literally, like, one of my credit cards, I don't do that, but one of them, I pay that thing to 0 every time. And I thought, like, as long, because I know I seen, like, you see on the internet, just keep it under 30% utilization and you're good. I don't know how true that is, but I'm glad
you're good, but that's the max amount. When you're trying to get anything above a 780, King, you got to keep it within 5 to 7%. 30% is still too high if you're trying to get 780, because a 780 credit score is an 800. It's the same thing. And so whenever you get to 780, in order for you to get that high, you got to keep your utilization between 5 and 7%. So it may be okay that one card is 0 and your other card still has something on it, because it's the utilization of all of your credit cards combined.
Oh.
So it's not just that one, right? And so what they do is add up your credit limits, and then they see what your debt is. So it's a utilization of all of your credit cards combined, not just that one. So you may still be fine because one is at 0 and the other one is holding a balance.
I'm so glad you just said that, because that kind of cleared up a lot for me. I'm still learning something every day. This is the last question from somebody.
This is part 2 of that question.
Oh, the part 2, actually. Oh, my bad. Oh, I'm glad you said that. What counts as revolving credit, and how important is it?
We just said it, credit cards. That's the only thing that's revolving. It's very important. Like, I tell people, like, I'm a student of studying. When Dan Ramsey came out, which I do listen to Dan Ramsey because I'm always trying to learn the thought patterns, right? And so he says, cut up your credit cards, like pay everything cash. That shit is cool when you're a millionaire. You can pay everything cash, right? That shit don't work if you ain't got no money and if you come from where we come from, right? So that shit works then. You will not have great credit without credit cards. There's nothing to grade you on. There's nothing to give you scores if you don't have credit cards. So the most important thing is to have credit cards. But FICO, the algorithm is based on an overall mix. So they want to see revolving lines of credit. They want to see installments, which is student loans, which is car notes, right? Installment loans are loans that stay the same thing every single month. Revolving is exactly what it says, revolving. It goes up and down, up and down. And because it goes up and down, the algorithm gives it more points because it does go up and down. And so it can really see your habits and how you pay your bills, because these things fluctuate. And so the reason why your scores drop so much is once the utilization is 30%, because it makes it seem like you're living above your means.
Okay. All right, man. This is
So
this free
revolving
game
lines of
right here.
credit or everything. We have to have
Okay.
it.
I'm glad I came across, man. You don't even know. So this is the last question. This person said, "Why did my credit score drop 44 points? But I just got limit increases and all my cards are paid off." I don't know if you can answer.
I'm sure, yeah, I can. I almost bet you that something popped up. Usually, so here's what happens. I'm going to keep saying that. And if they don't get nothing from this podcast, I think I want them to know that all credit is flexible, all credit, right? And credit is a game, right? And so what I tell our clients every single time is that whenever you come in on our program or if you're doing it on your own and you pull your credit, we are not the customers. I'm going to say that again. We're not the customers. We're the consumers. So anytime you pull your personal credit, because the algorithm knows through soft inquiries, if it's you pulling your credit or if it's a bank or someone else pulling your credit, aka hard inquiries, right? If you're personally pulling your credit, you're not penalized. So they know it's you pulling your own credit. So what that tells the bank and the credit bureaus is that, oh, girl trying to do something. She pulling her credit, right? And so what they do is, and I can't say it actually happens like this, but I see it all the time. What they do is like send a mass email to everybody that has something on your credit report, any and everybody, right? And so let's say you had a doctor's bill that was on your credit 5 years ago, but now since it's 5 years old, it's not inputted into the algorithm, right? Because it's older than 2 years old. And two items more than 2 years old has little or no effect to your credit score. And so if you have a doctor's bill that you didn't pay 5 years ago and now it's 5 years old, it's not affecting your credit scores. And so since now you pulled your credit, now they sent this doctor's company a note saying, oh, girl pulled her credit. She must be doing something. And guess what they do? Now they start dinging your credit.
Oh, man. Oh, shoot.
They start dinging your credit, right? And what happens? You trying to do something. They know that because you're pulling your credit. You're trying to find out what your credit scores is. So now they start dinging. They start putting hard inquiries. And then they start updating that 5-year-old account, making it now recent. That's illegal, though. You can't do that. But they get away with it all the time. And so you have a 5-year account. Now they re-agent it. And re-agent means they make it look like it's a new account. So now it drops your scores. And guess what the consumers do? Oh my God, I can't have that. Let me call these people so they can stop doing that. And now you go pay that bill. That's 5 years old. That was about to drop off anyway. And now they got money from you. And now they're going to stop dinging your credit. That's what happens. So she's thinking I'm paying all my shit, what she is. And because she ran her credit, they then popped up a collection from 5 years ago and now they're dinging her credit. So she just whoever that person is, needs to bust open that credit report and go look at all the inquiries and look at the notifications. Like I monitor my credit with Identity IQ and I also monitor my credit with my FICO because I understand that it's two different sets, right? But I want to know what my total overall credit scores is no matter where I go. So if I'm trying to get a credit card, I know the credit card companies usually uses Vantage scores. So I need to know what my Vantage score is. And whenever I start purchasing more property, I need to know what my FICO scores are. And so I monitor with both platforms. So if you go look into the notifications of any of the monitoring services that you use, they'll tell you exactly what the hell going on. It's going to say scores decreased, and then they'll tell you why. It'll say, this hit your credit, something flagged, or something like that. If it says something flagged, that's what the problem is. That flagged dinged your credit, and now it's a re-aged account, and so your scores are dropping.
Oh, man, I'm glad you said that, because, man, it is... I mean, I learned half this stuff. I'm learning for myself even. I was like, a lot of stuff I didn't know at all. I just kind of, you get very like generic information when you be on the internet searching, which is what I usually try to figure out. But I appreciate you answering a few questions for everybody that was asking though. So last thing I like to do, I like this little lightning round, and just 5 questions, and just real quick, we'll just run through this. So the first question is, give me a black standout on your timeline. It could be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever.
I couldn't hear you because it kind of flashed out.
The question is to give me just one it could be 5. I don't care. Just a black standout that's on your timeline. It could be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything. It don't matter what platform.
You said black standout. What is that? What do you mean?
Like somebody that's a black person that stands out on your timeline, like any black person. Like it could be.
Yeah. Wall Street Trapper, big trap for sure. He on his shit. On my timeline, Arnita Johnson, who's the guru in my industry. And she's a black female. I would say, who I watch all the time? I don't know. Now you're gonna make me go look. Let me see, because I'm on it. So I try not to be consumed, Let me see. I'm gonna say Brittany Flippin, who's my trainer. She's on her stuff, but she's super inspiring and motivating. And I would say Mom, Wife, Boss.
Okay. Now for the next one, what's one book recommendation you have for somebody?
Oh my God. Of course, I was about to say Coldest Winter Ever, but that's that just because the sequel came out. Think like I Have a Millionaire Mind. That would be it. And listen, I'm gonna tell you who exactly is the because I'm listening to it now. But I have for every book I'm gonna have to change it because I'm listening to Tim Ferriss right now. So the 4-Hour Work Week.
Oh yeah, I've read that one. I like that one.
Yeah. So I love that. I love The Millionaire Mind. I have a bunch of them. I could go down and down. The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I have one by Esther Hicks. What is this one? Money and Land, The Seed of the Soul. That's enough for you?
Oh yeah, that's enough. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I gave you a few. I could go on and on and on because my library is whatever book that I purchase. I purchased the Audible so that I don't have to stop. And so like if I'm in the bed and I'm reading, when I wake up in the morning, I put it on my car while I'm driving.
Yeah, that's how I do mine. Yep. So next question. What failure taught you the most?
Ooh. What failure taught me the most? With scaling your businesses, never scale so much where you don't know what's going on. Always stay plugged in to your business, is what I would say. It's because with the childcare facilities, at one time I had 4. I'm one person. But I wanted to become an entrepreneur king for freedom, right? I love money. Let me just say this first, but it's not about how much money. It's about the freedom for me. And so because I am obsessed with the freedom, right? Being able to move around however I want to, when I want to, I scale too fast. And so I gave people responsibilities for my baby, which is my businesses, that pays my whole family. Like my whole family is employed at my childcare facilities. My mom or my sister, my aunt, my cousin, my other sister, my daughter, my nieces, my nephews, right? And with it being such a vital part to my family and my legacy, letting go and allowing other people to run it so quick and not being involved is what the lesson is. So now what I do is I have meetings every single week with my team. Every Monday is where we sit on the phone for 12. We do Zooms because I'm still on the freedom. I ain't got to be in the office, but we get on a Zoom and we talk about everything that happened for the week prior. So that would be my thing.
Okay. Next question. I got 2 more questions. What is one thing you think the Black community needs to improve on?
The one thing that I think the Black community needs to improve on is investing in themselves, investing in mentorships. I can tell you my first time hiring a coach, it fucked me up how much money that costs. And I instantly became afraid. But what I know now is what I didn't know then is with paying mentors, paying coaches, you get to skip what you already said in the beginning of this conversation. You get to skip all of the hiccups, right? If I had a mentor, because I've been doing this, I've been 100% self-employed, King, since 2007. When it wasn't like a cool thing, right? We just started, like, in my mind, we just started talking about it and knowing it was a thing. But in 2007, when I was your age, that's why when you said that, I was like, I smiled, because 27, the light bulb went off. At 28, I had my childcare facility. And so, of course, manifesting all these things. So it would be, for the Black community, we have to learn to start investing in ourselves and stop being afraid of. Like, for me, I paid $15,000 a year to become a part of a mastermind group, right? That was a crazy ass number for me. Oh, I'm paying a check. My mind said, $15,000 a year for what? Not thinking of investing $15,000 made me $75,000. Because then they taught me the skills and the things that I needed in order to build courses to help me write my books, so that I can now, of course, scale myself and I can be spread so much wider rather than just being me. And so that $15,000 investing in myself, investment of myself, made me $75,000. So that's what I want. I wish the Black community would. Yeah, Google is cool, but again, the things that you're gonna get from a mentor may not be on Google, and it won't go deep as paying a mentor. So that would be my answer, that they start investing in themselves and start believing in themselves, because we deserve it. We're worth it.
Okay. The last one, what's one piece of advice you would give somebody?
Go hard or go home. Go all in or don't do it. Don't be halfway in, halfway out, because you're wasting your money and you're wasting your time. You gotta be all in or don't mess with it. I think that's my thing. You know, even with Instagram, I try to tell my mentees and some of the mentees that I have, where they'll do social media for about 6 months, King, and they're like, oh, but nobody ain't engaging and nobody liking my shit. Keep doing it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was doing credit for a whole year before anybody said what's up. Like, now here in New Orleans, I've had followers that have been following me since day one, and they just started messing with me. Because people will watch you and watch what you're doing and just keep watching. And then eventually, like you said, I'm gonna just keep drilling the horse with your mom and your friends. Just keep giving, keep sharing, keep doing it, and eventually they'll catch up. So go hard, go all in it, or don't go in it at all.
Okay. Well, I just want to say, I mean, I'm definitely I gotta get your number and everything. I'm definitely gonna be in touch with you. I ain't gonna try to get on your nerves too much.
I'm cool. Listen, DMing me, that's cool. You cool. I'm gonna text you back. I'm gonna get back with you, because that's my personal one. Nobody has access to it. My business one, the team and all of that in there, but that's my personal one. And I make it, you know, my number one goal is to engage with my people, and then when people ask me questions, to respond. They may not get it right then and there, but they gonna get it, and I'm gonna respond. So no problem. Please do.
But yeah, I definitely just want to thank you, because you just put on a whole lot of game, and you know, even for somebody who thought they actually knew what was going on in credit, I realized I really don't know much. I know a little bit, but I don't know the whole game. What I want you to do is, though, because I need you to plug everything, every social media, all your platforms, books, websites, you plug it all in. And I'm gonna definitely throw that in the show notes for anybody that might not have caught it.
So, of course, I'm Melika Honore, the CEO of Honore Credit Consultants. So you can follow me. My new page for Honore Credit is Honore Credit Repair. That's Honore. We have my personal page, is where I connected with King. It's I am Melika. It's Melika, Honore, Honore. And then my website is honorecredit.com. Or you can go to my personal Melika Honore page, which is melikahonore.com.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you again.
Yes.
You know, if anybody that's listening to this provided you any value, go ahead and like, comment, you know, leave a rating. 5 stars really help with the algorithm. Y'all go plug in It was Melika, because, hey, if I know one thing, she know her stuff, and she own it. And you ain't getting the name, the merit, credit for no reason if you don't know what you're doing.
That's it. That's right.
All right. Well, we signing out, and I appreciate every last one of y'all.
Thank you.